The Consortium released the 7th September 23 the new balance dataset, the autumn balance dataset 2023, related about Warhammer 40k, new edition, the 10th edition Leviathan. So this, it will be related about these ones. If you're interested about the release, about the facts and so on, I leave in the description the playlist so that you can find all the changes and so on. And here we can find that sincerely there have been quite a lot of big changes related, so we go to see about them. And sincerely, I don't like too much this edition. I hope that this balance dataset will improve my perception about this. Still, I had yet to try all against all the armies and so on, so I had to try more about the games. If you're interested about the files themselves, I leave in the description the link about such article of the Warhammer community, or you can go in the Warhammer community on the section of Warhammer community 40k, and in the section download of it you can find these files available. So think about that. Now we go to see about such balance dataslate. Then we can see about the balance dataset autumn 23, and here I want to remember one thing. It will be separated in the core rules and the one that are related about the different armies, because I don't play all the armies and I haven't read all the units and so on, the rules for all the armies. I suggest you to really pay attention about such details, because they could be changed quite a lot the way that you can play, and you have to evaluate them. And moreover, remember that in the future could be that these balance dataset rules will become the real rules, so they are going to substitute the original one in the core rules. So pay attention about such things, because they are really quite important. The first thing that we see, it's about devastating wounds. This is something that it's related to the weapons that has the keyword devastating wounds. So before, remember that they were the ones that were doing mortal wounds. Instead, now it's that each time an attack is made with such a weapon, so the one that has the keyword devastating wounds, then you make that if that attack score a critical wound, no saving throw of any kind can be made against that attack, including the invulnerable saving throw. Moreover, remember that such attacks are only allocated to models after all other attacks made by the attacking unit has been allocated and restored. This it's important about the timing, but what is important is that when you do the critical wound, you make wounds that can't be saved. But remember that are normal wounds anyway, not mortal wounds. So it means that can be lost when assigned to models that has multiple wounds, or you may surpass the wounds that the model has. So pay attention, because this is a completely different from having the mortal wounds. So pay attention about such. Then have the modify about the stratagem cost of point in command point for the stratagems. Here it's better to read the part about the example, because are more indicative. Anyway, rules that modify the command point cost of a stratagem when you target a particular unit can only do so for a stratagem that target multiple units if every unit you target has the same ability to modify the command point of the stratagem. And rules that modify the command point of cost of a stratagem but that not specify the name of the stratagem can only be used to affect the command point cost of battle tactic stratagems. This does not apply anyway to the Aircast Colossus, Striding Colossus, or Towering Wrath construct abilities. What does it mean? It's better to see the example are more clarifying. So we have that, for example, the Rights of Battle of the Captain as ability enables that model to be targeted by a stratagem for 0 command point. This ability does not specifically name a stratagem, and so it can only be used to use a battle tactic stratagem for 0 command point. Instead, if we go to see about the Assumed Tactical Acumen ability, however, enables you to target this model's unit with a fire overwatch stratagem for 0 command point. As the name of the stratagem is specified, that ability can be used even though the fire overwatch is a strategic play stratagem. So pay attention about such distinctions. And the second example, it's also quite important, because, for example, a Calidus Assassin Reign of Confusion ability, when used, increase the cost of one of your opponent's stratagem by 1 command point. This ability does not specifically name of a stratagem, and so it can only be used to increase the command point cost of a battle tactic stratagem. So it changed quite a lot the way, because it can be seen in a positive or in a negative way. For sure, you had to change your approach to such type of games, so you had to pay quite a lot of attention. Another thing that has been changed is that stratagem can be used more than once per phase turn, but rules that allow you to use a stratagem even if another unit has been targeted by that stratagem this phase or turn, but that does not specify the name of the stratagem, as we've seen before, can only be used only for battle tactic stratagem. So here completely change the things, so you have to pay attention. Then has been made a change about the fire overwatch stratagem, that has seen that about when it's still the same, so your opponent move or charge phase just after the enemy unit is set up, or when an enemy unit start or runs a normal advance, fallback or charge move, the target is still the same, but the effect has changed. So if that unit is visible to your unit, this it's okay, understandable that it's like this. Still, it's good that there is. Moreover, the distinction is something that you have to pay attention, because you cannot target a Titanic unit with this stratagem. This could change some things if you are going against the Titanic unit, such the Imperial Knight and so on. So you have to pay attention about such change of the fire overwatch that remains almost the same, but with little details changed. Instead, one thing that has changed in a really important way, it's insane bravery stratagem, that make that is still the same. So you can make the forbidden of the feeling of the battleshock test, but it's changed when, so before you take a battleshock test, so you had to make this before you try to make it, so pay attention. Moreover, they target a unit from your army that must take a battleshock test, but the real things that change if that your unit still automatically passes the battleshock test, okay, but the restriction is the most important one, because you cannot use this stratagem more than once per battle, not once per turn, but once per battle. So you have to pay really attention when to use such one, because you have one chance only to use this on all the battle. So it changed quite a lot the way that you can apply such stratagem. I think that maybe it's too much, I can say, limiting, but okay. Then how about the runes visibility section, that it's referred about the aircraft models and the towering models that can be seen and so on. It's a little change and nothing much, but still you have to pay attention about these ones. And then we have to see about the faction rules that has been changed. So we have about the Datus Custodes that has seen the change about the unwavering sentinel stratagem that moved to be epic deed stratagem. Then we have about the Custodian Guard datasheet that changed to 4 to 5 as model for the Custodian Guards and Custodian Wardens, and 2 to 3 about the Virtus Praetors. So it adjusts the amount of models. Then about the Adeptus Mechanicus that make that the Skitari Rangers and the Skitari Vanguard has the same characteristic of 4+ and a ward save of 5+. Could be good, could be bad. Since I don't know the units, so it's up to you decide if it's worth. About the Eldari that make that the Phantasm stratagem, it's target an Eldari infantry unit, so quite limited because it's only about the infantry unit. Okay, Eldar has more infantry than other things, but you have to pay attention about such specific. Then we have Agent of the Imperium that make the extraction squad datasheet being with 9 extraction vigilance as modifying, and the war gear option that make it up to 2 of these extra vigilant can make have such war gear eventually. Then there is about the death card. Then sincerely I find this really quite intriguing and amazing as add-in, because it's spread the sickness detachment rule, so that add the following to the start of this rule. During the declare battle formation step, select one of the sicknesses below. Until the end of the battle, all units from your army with the Nargul's Gift ability gain the selected sickness. You have 3 abilities to choose. that are all aura, so they have a range around the model. So we have Skull Quiz Blight. While an enemy unit is within contagion range of this unit, worsen the ballistic skill and weapon skill characteristic of weapon equipped by models in that enemy unit by 1, not bad at all. Rattle Joint Ague. While an enemy unit is within contagion range of this unit, worsen the save characteristic of the models in that enemy unit by 1. Could be really quite great change about this. And Scarbus Surrout. While an enemy unit is within the contagion range of this unit, worsen the leadership and objective control characteristic of models in that enemy unit by 1 to a minimum of 1. And remember that this, as specified, as that you had to change the parenthesis at the end of the current rules so enemy units within contagion range it will have their characteristics modified. So it's really quite important about such details. This, I think that it's quite nice and really quite big as change. I have some models of the Death Guard and I am really thinking about having a sort of small force about them. This it's a good incentive, but it's not the one because I go to play eventually about the Death Guard, but because I had the models about Conquest and I want to play with them. Then we have about the Death Watch that is seen and modified about the stratagem in the way that specify the bolt weapons for the stratagem of the Dragonfire rounds, the Hellfire rounds, and the Kraken rounds. And really you had the list about here about the weaponry that are with the bolt weapons. The most of them has bolt inside the name, but other not. So it's better to have all the specific about to which ones apply. I think that it's really good that it's done so. Then we have about the Genestealer Kurz that has seen a little change about the Cult and Bash army rules. So made that when your army faction is a Genestealer Kurz, each time a unit with this ability is destroyed, roll a d6 and add the 1 to the result if it is a battle line, and add the 1 to the result if it is the first or second battle round, and on a 5+, add a new unit to your army identical to. So this it's quite good to understand how it works and could be quite improved if battle line in the first 2 battle round. So it's a way to replenish your options eventually. Then about the Atalan Jack's datasheet that make the Outrider Gang's ability change to each time use the Cult and Bash ability. It's to be put on the battlefield within 9 inches. This is the main change about. So you have to pay attention because it makes you understand how you can deploy such unit and how much far from the edge. Then about the Green Knights that see the Haloed in Sulfire stratagem being changed to be a strategic play stratagem. Had the Imperial Knight that has seen a change about the Bondsman abilities. To see that some Questori models as a Bondsman ability tagged with the word Bondsman. In your command phase, one or more models from your army with a Bondsman ability can use this ability. For each one that does, select one friendly Armiger model within 12 inches of that model. You can select an Armiger model that is already being affected by a Bondsman ability. Until the start of your next command phase, the Armiger model you selected is affected by that Bondsman ability. So it's simply a way to make this rule work. Then we have also the Thunderstorm stratagem changed to be an epic deed. And we had the Trophy Claim stratagem and the Valiant Last Stand stratagem that see the change of their cost to be 2 command points. Then we have about the Leaks of Wotan that make that there is the Ruthless Efficient Attachment rule that change the first 2 paragraphs in the way that at the start of the battle, select a number of units from your opponent army depending on the battle size as shown below. So you had that incursion, you had to select 2 units, the strike force 4 units, the onslaught 6 units. Each of those units start the battle with 2 judgment token. You have to see the table about. And you make that if at the start of any of your command phase any of those units has been destroyed, you gain the number of command points depending on how early in the battle you destroyed it and so on. So this could be a really quite a great change about the Leaks of Wotan about assigning such tokens, so you have to pay quite a lot of attention. They have about the Space Marines with the Desolation Squad unit composition that make that you have a composition of 1 Desolation Sergeant and 4 Desolation Marines. So for the mast are little changes, but there are some changes that are quite important about. So you have really to pay attention. Moreover, about the core rules, because these core rules, it's better that you really understand good, because it could be really quite possible that most of them, if not all of them, will be really included and brought on in this edition. So it's really quite interesting about. So this is about the balanced Dataslate, and you remember to see also the part about the commentary rules and the rules for the armies and so on. Still remember that this is technically temporary because it's about autumn 2023, but it's not bad at all, so you have to pay attention. Anyway, from that mode it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.